Alright, we just celebrated Christmas here at our house a couple, 3 weeks ago, I guess now. Yeah. And this was a gift to me from my children. I've never had an oscillating drum sander. I've had drum sanders, but they've always just been something that I've attached to my drill press and kind of made do. But I'm interested in looking at this and maybe turning it into a stationary tool that I can attach to my bench top here. So I'm going to open up the box here, see what's in it, and then maybe take some dimensions and go to work and figure out what I can do with this thing. So from what I understand, that's a non-stick pad, or non-slip pad I should say. Owner's manual, drums, and some other accessories. Let's see. That's a dust port, an edge guide, the largest of the drums. There's one already attached to the tool. A couple of thumb screws. These are bench top clamps, so that you can clamp the unit to your bench top. I may use those in my design for what I have in my head anyway of getting this thing set up. There's that edge guide again, and the tool itself. Now, I've never owned any Triton tools before, so it'll be interesting to see how this thing works. I did build it to sit flat. This is where this comes in. Keep it from sliding around. That looks like it'll work well. So I'm going to take some dimensions. Well, here's the dust port, by the way. There it locks in. Okay. So that looks good. So nice looking tool. Let's see, where do you turn it on here? Well, right here. And speeds from 1 to 6. So whatever I come up with, I've got to have access to that end for sure to be able to turn it on and off. Just, I could see what's happening there. Maybe I can just build a base and screw it right to that. Let me get a screwdriver here and see what's going on with this. Alright, belt driven. It's a fairly substantial plate. It's plastic and metal. I don't like this type of screw. That kind of limits my options building another base for this. It is fairly thick. Let me see how that compares to 1/4 inch ply once. Alright, a couple of things. This is just shy of 11 millimeters thick. And this is like 1 mil thicker. What I call 1/2 inch plywood, but it's 12 millimeter plywood. So this is just a hair thicker, which would work, but this thing's got a little recess here, which I would have to take into account about a 4 mil recess. Now it also has these threaded inserts here for the edge guide. This one, yeah. And that's where these thumb screws come in. So I don't want to eliminate that part of it. And it appears as though this metal plate is snapped into place. I don't want to pry on it too hard. Oh, I don't even have to. It does come right out of there. Okay, good. So I can use the metal plate, recess it into the plywood, and accomplish what I want to accomplish here, I think, by making a platform that will work. Yeah, all right. So I'm going to take this and lay this out in my shaper program, and then find a piece of plywood that I can figure out how big I need to make it, or want to make it, to make a bigger table here. And then my other thought is using this table to attach to my bench for even larger work pieces. All right, I got my file imported, and I'm going to try to do a test cut on this board here to see how it works out before I cut my permanent piece. All right, I got to make some adjustments. I've got a little hiccup in my design, in my line right here. It wants to jump on me, and I know what happened there when I was drawing it up. So I'll correct that little mistake right there. But then up here, the length is perfect. I mean, that's nice. But these two curves are a little wide by probably 10 thousandths. This one, I'm a little wide out here as well. I might be able to live with that, but I want to tighten this up, I think. Okay, after the software fix or the design fix, I've got a nice snug fit. I'm going to use, which is this one. It's got a couple holes in it, but that doesn't bother me at all. I'm going to run with this. It measures, what does it measure? I don't even know. 11 by 17. Okay, locating my plate location or cutout, I've determined the center of 5.5 here, and I'm coming 1 inch off the back edge. I think that should be okay. If not, I can cut this off, but I'm going to try it. So what I've done here, let me get this zoomed back out. Zoomed in here is you can see the white outline of my design, and the anchor point is centered on this outside edge. So I'm going to line it up with that crosshair that I drew as best I can. I mean, it's going to be close. And then place it. Yeah. I got to keep it as close to perpendicular or parallel to that line as I can. Place it right there. All right. So I'll cut away What I mean is I'll cut away my space and then change bits, drill holes most of the way through, and then we'll see how it fits. All right, that was kind of interesting. I went to do my pocket cut, and it would not let me pocket cut where the holes were, so I had to go back and do each individual spot, but that was no big deal. So I've got that recessed it's just above this surface, and it should be because I went to 0.215 and I should go to 0.220. So I think I'm going to make one more pass around the outside. I'm good on the inside here. Although now that I think about it, I've got to create a channel here for my dust collection. I can do that manually. Or I could drop in another file and just cut a channel. I'll do that. Okay. Looking good so far. I had to expand these holes for these screws, but I've got that done. And everything seems to line up really nicely. One thing I need to do, I believe, is finishing. Well, maybe not. I'm wondering about this dust port here. Well, I'll try it on for size on my machine and see how it looks. Okay, this machine, I've got to cut this relief here so that, I think I do anyway. I'm looking at it again now. This goes this way. Yeah, otherwise it's not going to sit down. Let me think. No, it doesn't need to sit down. It needs to sit flush. Yeah, I think I'll be okay. I'll countersink my holes and then I'll try it on for size, I guess. I didn't want to move it if I was going to use my router to take this out, but I can always cut it by hand if I have to. Yeah, there has to be some relief there for that to sit down where it belongs. So since I've taken it out of the clamps and its orientation, I'm dead in the water when it comes to using that router. I wouldn't be if I had located at some stops and put it right back where it was, but I didn't do that either. So I'll hand cut this and get that piece out of there, and then countersink my holes here. Not the big ones, just these small ones. And that should be good for a trial run. Get it close and I use my router plane to do the rest. One last final pass here, I think. everything works, or looks good, I shouldn't say. I haven't tried it yet. But essentially what I've done is replaced this surface area with this. And the advantage that I have here with this is that I can now, doing small pieces, I can come out here and go that way. You can even go tighter to stiffen it up. Yeah, I can clamp back here. Yeah, that helps. And then dust extraction right here. Let's give it a whirl and see what happens. I did turn my hook up my vacuum and try that. It does make the vacuum work pretty hard, but I can feel the downdraft here. All right, a quick update. This fence does work. I was going to put it on here and use it with this drum, but it's only designed for the bigger one, I think. You wouldn't. This would be more of an interior type sander, so I'm going to put that aside. But it does work. I mean, it does connect, so that's good. So let's just see how this thing works. Nope, you got to turn on the power. Pretty good bite. This is unsanded here, this area, and this part here is pretty smooth. This part's a little ripply from when I first started. I gotta check something out here. Yeah, my hose is below that surface, so I want it to be going this direction. I think it would be viable to have a fence there. Maybe I can figure something out on that end. Just to hold this steady. But for, here, this is the other thing. You're not going to be doing edge sanding on a straight piece. Your piece is going to be curved this way. If it's going this way, you're going to sand with something else. It just doesn't make sense to do it any other way. So, a true test here is not to sand this straight line. It would be to get something that's got a little wave to it. But, at any rate, I like what I've done here. Much bigger surface area. And if I need to, take it to the work, I can still leave this on, or go back to this piece and the fence. I'm going to trade out drums here, put in the bigger one, see what happens with that. These are 80 grit, by the way, so I think I'll order some finer grits as well. Not bad. Not bad. I can see some advantages for this. All right, and the dust collection is good. It's pulling it in, so it's worked out well that way. All right, thanks for watching.